The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Media Mash, a roundtable of Cowboys insiders dropping wisdom and offering sizzling takes on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys. Now, your host, Newy Scruggs.
Media Mash. Let's ride. We're all employed. Unlike Russell Wilson's head coach.
Wow.
That's Mike McCarthy's friend, sir.
He'll be here next year coaching.
Oh, my God.
What?
Wow.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, Newy. Merry Christmas.
Well, when Dan Quinn leaves and takes Schottenheimer, he needs somebody to replace Schottenheimer.
I mean, look.
Ooh,
if
boy.
it's one thing we know.
I thought they was playing Tennessee this week. I thought.
Look. The
Dan Quinn's getting a job.
Coach,
I agree.
He's taking somebody with him.
Coaches take care of each other.
Yeah.
This is an industry where, look at Mike. Who else is trying to hire Mike Nolan and make him a defensive coordinator? Okay, coaches take care of each other.
Is he coaching now?
Mm-hmm. So
ain't worked since.
Ben McAdoo, went through his issues. Bam, he's over here with Mike McCarthy as a consultant, analyst. Then he went to Carolina this year. Here comes Brian Schottenheimer in that spot. If you start to think about Brian Schottenheimer, what he did in Seattle, did a lot of good work, but it wasn't good enough for Russell because Russ wanted to cook more. I could see Schotty getting a job. And then if Nathaniel Hackett doesn't go back to Green Bay, I could see him coming here. But, at the end of the day, I'm not going to say Nathaniel Hackett doesn't know football. He's just not. He was not ready to be a head coach.
Sure.
And so Mike McCarthy can find value in bringing him in here, and I expect him to do it because this is what coaches do, man. They take care of each other all day long. By the way, Media Mash, Jon Machota, The Athletic.
Is it taking care of other guys, or is it getting people on your staff that you can trust and will have your back in a business where you got to be kind of looking around the corner?
Well,
two things can be true.
Yes, two things can be. You're not going to take.
I'm just throwing out some food for thought.
You're trying to create that viral moment and see what you're doing over there.
Exactly.
I see what you're doing over there.
That's what, and part of it is nepotism.
Sure.
Nepotism has your back too, but that doesn't mean it right. Make it right.
Yeah.
He's Clarence Hill, Fort Star Telegram. There's Kevin Gray, 105.3 The Fan.
Sir.
Newy Scruggs. This is the Media Mash. All right, we got a whole lot to get to, but seriously, I would not be surprised if Nathaniel Hackett is here next year.
Yeah.
I would not
shouldn't be.
Why?
Well, because of what they've done the last few years. With McAdoo, like you said, with Schottenheimer, it's not going to be – I think when you say that, maybe some people are thinking, oh, it's like the offensive coordinator. I don't necessarily see it that way.
Hey, look, Kellen Moore could get a job this offseason. You look at what, especially the way –
I'm looking at it from an analyst role is why he would be here.
And I'm just thinking there could be – we don't know just yet, but I just think – put it like this. I expect Nathaniel Hackett to have an opportunity here in Green Bay. Did good work in Green Bay, clearly, because he got himself a job and Aaron Rodgers liked him. And we know Mike McCarthy likes him. And coaches take care of each other.
Well, the problem with, anything beyond the analyst role is he's never called plays. He didn't call plays in Green Bay.
Jacksonville, he did.
Well, he didn't call plays in Green Bay. And they didn't do well in Jacksonville. And he called plays in Denver, and they sucked. What you going to bring him to do?
Analyze?
He ain't coming.
Break that stuff down.
Leaves,
hey, Mike, here you go.
He's not going to be the play caller.
Look,
he's not going to be the play caller.
I didn't sit up here and say he's going to be playing. I just said he'll find him. He'll take care of his spot. I expect him to be here. He'll figure it out. He can do what Garrett did for Jason. He can do something.
Cowboys been to be rehab you like Nick Saban in Alabama?
Do you expect Dan Quinn to be here?
I don't.
Next year?
I don't.
Right now, looking at what's out there, yes.
You do? He's a favorite to be the Denver coach.
I don't think, especially with Dan Quinn having seen the Russell Wilson show
he
up
knows
close.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, having seen the Russell Wilson show up close, I don't think he takes that job.
How do you know he doesn't think he can fix it?
Right.
Or find somebody that he at least can come in there and fix it.
Yeah, how do you know he doesn't like Russell Wilson and he won with Russell Wilson?
Right.
Okay, that's just me. We asked my opinion. This is my opinion. So I don't think it's taking that job.
You got a ring with Russell Wilson. Of course.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what? When they limited Russell Wilson, when Russ didn't cook, you know what Russ cooked? Russ cooked the menu and ingredients. It was right in front of him like Blue Apron.
They also had the league defense.
And that's what we did.
It's easy to say that. I hear you, but
I was there that day.
In Russell's defense and Seattle's defense of the last few years, they didn't have a defense. They didn't have an elite defense. They had to do things on offense. It's like, it's like the Cowboys. It's one thing to say, like, beginning of the season, we're going to win with defense. It's going to be different this year. We're going to win with defense. We're not going to throw the ball. We're not going to score 40 points.
They did for a little bit like
15 games later, are we winning with defense, or are we having to score 40 points a game to compete?
All right, dog team. Okay.
I'm just saying, it's easy to say, don't let Russ cook. Let's just focus on, running the ball and being selective.
It was
when your defense ain't stopping nobody.
But it was clear, okay, the last few years, Russell wanted to do more.
They had to have him do more. They didn't have Richard Sherman. They didn't have Earl Thomas. They didn't have elite defense.
But that played into him wanting to lead.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not doing what I want to do. I want, it's like a basketball. I want more shots. I want the offense focused around. That's what he wanted. And so going to Denver that was a part of the play. He was going someplace where he could cook. Like Tom Brady getting away from Bill Belichick. I want to go someplace where I've got input and we do it my way. That's what Russ wanted. And my thing is, if I'm Dan Quinn, I don't know if I want to go deal with that.
I understand that, but if I'm Dan Quinn, I know I'm better than damn Hackett. And I'm going to put a better system and coaching staff around them.
And I got a defense already in place, too.
And they got a pretty good defense. I'm going to put a better system around them. This is more about Hackett's failures and not deserving the job than Russell Wilson's failures, to me.
Because also, with all that Denver gave up to get Russell Wilson, I would think their next head coach, they're going to be looking for someone that's not going to go, hey, we got to get Russ out of here, and I can do this with the next quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, there will be guys that do that, but I think that they'll be looking for the guy that says, oh, no, I can fix Russell Wilson. I can fix
Or do you have a guy in place
work.
that can come in here and help fix Russ in that way?
Right.
Yeah.
Because they did give up a lot for him. I don't know if you can just
They're not
move
getting
on
rid
from
of him.
that. Yeah.
So, you got to find somebody that can work with him, that wants to work with him, has a relationship with him. And Dan Quinn is an odds-on favorite to be one of the next Denver coaches.
I'll be surprised if it's not Dan Quinn or Sean Payton, I guess, would be in that mix, too.
Sean Payton's not taking him. Sean Payton wants a proven quarterback, and that's not going to be it. But
and if it's true, you're going to bring Fangio back into that situation in Denver.
He is a proven quarterback. Stop it.
So you saying Dan Quinn going to take Brian Schottenheimer with him? Because Schottenheimer had him in Seattle. They put up a lot of points there. He did.
Yes,
well.
I think.
Let's get to the next part of this then that I feel like nobody talks about. Then who's the next DC here?
Joe Witt. We talked about that on the Players Lounge many a time.
It should be Joe Witt, and we need to get our arms around what's going on with Joe Witt and his health situation, because I think that could play a role. But it should be Joe Witt.
Yeah. That's in-house, and if it's not Joe Witt, George Edwards will be someone else to look at. So you can look in-house at some guys who are capable of doing the job here. I definitely think you'd like to have somebody that's got an understanding of what you can do with Micah Parsons, and has been around here for it. So Witt's been around here.
Let's talk about Micah Parsons.
And him. So, yeah, go ahead. Number 11.
He was interesting today in the locker room.
I did not get to hear. I had to come in here.
He was a little sensitive in the locker room today.
He was. You get to the sensitive part. I'll do the health update. So the health update is that he is at his locker and he's got his left hand, pretty heavily wrapped, and so he had a bandage on it on Sunday. I saw when he took a picture with LeBron James. He was at the Mavs-Lakers game, and it looked like it was the type of bandage you'd have over a cut. Some type of something that needed stitches or something where there was some, swelling that maybe, some type of injury there. But today he had it completely wrapped. Said he was fine. Said it's just part of football. No fracture, nothing like that. Didn't need an MRI. So he's good. He says he's good to go. But it's another one of those things when you watch him play, it's pretty obvious that he's dealing with a lot of different things. He's not 100%, which then leads to the part that Clarence was talking about.
Yeah, he was kind of chippy and sensitive today about.
Which we don't see him.
No, he's always been upbeat. Asking about defensive player of the year and whether he should be a candidate. Nick Bosa's obviously the favorite, and he kind of, I've been in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to worry about that, but. We're talking about his stats and 1 sack in the last 3 games, and he somebody can do my job. They can, come out here and do it. It's hard in there. It's not just easy to do my job, and just wasn't the same fearless, Micah Parsons. And I think the frustrations of the last few weeks are getting to him.
The injury report just came out, and he was added to it as limited with hand. So that. Like I said, it was enough for him to participate, even though it wasn't a full practice. These practices this week have been basically like walkthrough type practices. Tennessee's doing the same type of thing. But yeah, so he was limited today because of that hand.
Okay, so piggybacking on what you two both said, we were discussing on the previous podcast, Players Lounge, about the final game. Assuming you beat Tennessee, Eagles beat New Orleans, you're locked in to your 5. Washington, are you sitting guys for that game? Do you? And we talked about sitting a Micah Parsons for a game like that. What do you do?
Yeah, you sit.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would
You
say
sit.
so, yeah.
There's nothing to play for at that point, and I know you want to, stay fresh, and the Cowboys have not fared well coming off buys, but you want to stay fresh and healthy, and that's the best road because it's still a long road, and you got to be on the road throughout the playoffs. If there's nothing to play for, no positioning to play for, then you got to rest guys.
I mean, at most, you play them the first half. At most, if that. And then everybody sits in the second half. Because I understand you're coming off of you're going into the next round the following week. So if guys want to stay, I want to, have.
But I'm talking specifically Parsons.
Yeah, I'd sit him.
Oh, he's taking a toll on his body. But
yeah,
you're going to
he needs
Parsons,
the rest.
not just Parsons. You just got DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, there are a number of guys.
Yeah.
We went through Tyron Smith, but I was just mainly talking
with
about
Parsons.
Just one more thing because I didn't know about the hand.
He needs to rest on his body.
Yeah, I would sit him final week of the season. Yeah,
Parsons for sure. I'm good with sitting Leighton Vander Esch, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Vander Esch probably ain't playing to the playoffs anyway. So
right. Okay, so that's fine. And then the other one, though, the new one added to this list might be Tony Pollard, who, just because this is again today, injury report same today as it was yesterday, except for the addition of Micah Parsons. But so since it was the same, it's a thigh issue with Tony Pollard, and he did not practice. Jerry Jones said this morning on 105.3 The Fan that he expects him to play against the Titans, but that could be another a guy as well that maybe you sit in that game. But I kind of want Dak and T.Y. Hilton and some of these guys. I want them to keep playing. I know the offense is putting up numbers in that, but I wouldn't want basically a bye going into that first playoff game. I think that they should play. Now it doesn't have to be the entire game, but I would want them out there.
You want to give some snaps, but you got to err on the side of caution with the health.
Sure.
I would say, like I said, the first half. If we're talking about the offensive rhythm and the way they've been playing, let them play a half and then send them the – because I don't want to risk, as Clarence talking about, the injury for a meaningless football game. But if they want to continue to get some snaps, play them in the first half.
And depending on how things go, Washington might be playing this game for a chance to make the playoffs. They're in last place right now. They are 7-7.
Mike McCarthy is going to sit everybody so that Green Bay can't get in and Washington can win. Are you going that far?
Oh boy! Oh, look at there!
Boom!
Look at there!
Delicious!
Wow!
Delicious! It's
Walk
happening.
out there.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're starting
man.
a quarterback, ladies and gentlemen, Ben DiNucci.
And Jerry Jones is partial to Washington with Dan Snyder too. So there's a
boy.
lot of reasons.
Wait a minute now.
A lot of
Wait a
reasons to
minute.
help Washington out.
I was cool with what Machota said. He knew.
All right, let's be honest.
Oh man!
Keep Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I just am amazed that they are
Keep
at this
Aaron Rodgers
particular
out the
spot
playoffs.
now at this point of the season.
What?
After all the struggles, I'm talking about with Green Bay losing 5 in a row, and now still have a chance to make the playoffs if they.
You know why I really feel that
When you
way?
added an extra seed in there, that's what you're going. We add an extra playoff team. That's what you're going.
I mean, we were talking about a Green Bay Packers just dead in the water
Right.
though after that 5-game losing
I
streak.
There's
mean,
something about-
but you don't add the extra playoff team. They're not in the water. I mean, you know, and again, the other teams, Washington, New York, we know they're not good.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Now you may.
We were talking about until they lost to Carolina, we're talking about Detroit being that team.
Yeah.
Come on.
But Detroit had won 6 out of 7 at that point before getting blown out.
But
by Carolina?
even if a Detroit won out, or Washington or New York, you're going to take them over that possibility of having to go through whether it be Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, just because you do not want to give them a chance to get hot at the right time.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's not act like Cincinnati was just, they got the Super Bowl because they were just the best team. No, they got the Super Bowl because things were clicking at the right time. They were playing well at the back end of the year. Joe Burrow was playing great, and they had a couple, key pieces. Obviously, Jamar Chase and that, and all of a sudden, there you go, boom. And the Cincinnati Bengals are in the Super Bowl. Like, you can sit there and say whatever you want about the Packers right now.
Yeah.
But if you told me that the Packers get in the playoffs and won a couple games, I would not be surprised at all.
Speaking of the Bengals, I think our friend Leo Collins is out for the
done.
season.
Yes.
So torn ACL, yeah.
So-
And MCL.
So he's out for the season.
Well, you know what else a big loss too is how long will Lane Johnson be out? Because
Well, he's supposed to come back in the playoffs.
okay, but is how healthy is he going to be? The only reason I'm bringing this up is because you, as we all do, follow Eagles writers on Twitter, and they talk about how that team is like night and day
Oh yeah, no,
With him
with
without
and
him,
without him.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
which is something that I didn't really. obviously I know he's a great player and all that, but I didn't,
This weekend's game going to be interesting. The Saints will still have something to play for.
Right.
You still have your backup quarterback, no Lane Johnson, no Vontae Maddox.
Yep.
This won't be an easy game for the Eagles. And so that's why the Cowboys need to win and keep hope alive.
Keep
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
It'd also be interesting to see
Keep hope alive.
if Jalen Hurts plays, how does he play? Is he going to be
I would
throwing
say
more? Is he
for
going
the
to
season finale, I will not play him this week.
Okay. Well, then that point's interesting too. Then what does that offense look like against the Saints with Gardner Minshew?
Right, that's what I'm
was
saying.
this Cowboys game just an outlier that they kept it close, or is this a really good Eagles team that even Gardner Minshew looks okay as their quarterback?
Without Lane Johnson or that pass,
That's true.
it's going to be a different team.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of Eagles people. Without Lane Johnson, the offensive line is not the same.
And in Gardner Minshew's defense, you haven't really played all year long. And you go out there and you're going to make some mistakes, which you did. So the ability
2 days of practice.
Still threw for 350.
Right. Yeah. The ability to clean some things up here and not turn the football over.
I just look at that offense.
I just don't think he'll do it.
If Lane Johnson's out there.
He would not put 300 yards up against the Saints.
No, he won't. But I'm saying with Lane Johnson out there.
That was about the Cowboys'
A.J.
defense,
Brown
too.
and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders, we'll just say that Eagles team, when healthy, is very offensive friendly.
For my fantasy team, I need Gardner Minshew to get out here.
See, this is what it's about.
There we go. There it
You're on a
is.
Cowboys podcast.
And
Looking for Eagles points.
Or I'll be playing Brock Purdy against Las Vegas. So
Another very offensive friendly
Team, yes.
situation.
Yeah.
So I'll have to figure all that out there. But
Cowboys are also very offensive friendly situation.
Hey, that's the way to bring it full circle. There you go.
Let's take a
There
break
you
and we
go.
come back. I asked about T.Y. Hilton to Dak Prescott today, and let's get into that and possibly could there be more work coming for Jesse Holly lookalike on the football field? I did it. Just like
He just couldn't help yourself, could you?
They don't run alike.
Quick.
Love you,
take a break.
Jesse. Yeah, love you, Jesse. But T.Y. wouldn't have got run down.
Captain Hater. It's the Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com radio.
So you're telling me.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
When you build, you start with the foundation. And home ownership is a foundation of a stable future. The Bank of America Community Home Ownership Commitment has helped over 34,000 people lay the groundwork so far, with up to $10,000 towards your down payment or 3% of the purchase price, whichever is less. The satisfaction of owning your own place can become a reality. Visit bankofamerica.com/homeowner to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. Equal Housing Lender. Credit and collateral is subject to approval. Restrictions apply. This is not a commitment to lend.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field. United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf. For winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more.
Back to Media Mash.
Media Mash right here on DallasCowboys.com radio. Cowboy Insiders give you information. Here we got Jon Machota of The Athletic, Kevin Gray, 105.3 The Fan, and we got Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram joining us. So, T.Y. Hilton had two big plays. We talk about the 3rd and 30 with the 52-yard catch, but also on a play of 4th down when he ended up getting a PI call. Cowboys kept the football here. Clearly made an impact. Odell Beckham Jr. not coming here, according to Jerry Jones, so T.Y. Hilton is the guy. I asked Dak about could there be more opportunities for him, and he said yes. And that there's obviously some trust going on there. I didn't get in the locker room to talk to T.Y. Did you guys get with yesterday?
Yeah, so yesterday we did. He played 12 offensive snaps in that game. Obviously very productive for only 12 offensive snaps. He averaged 33 offensive snaps a game last year, so he can obviously handle more. Mike McCarthy said yesterday that the ramping up period's over, that he's ready to go out there and get, but it's about the packages that he's going to be out there for. But I'd say from T.Y., to your point, talking yesterday, I thought the biggest thing that stood out is that on that play he pointed out, and if you go back and watch it, he's absolutely correct, is that he's like, I got multiple gears. I definitely did not hit my fastest on that, and he didn't. I think Next Gen Stats clocked him around 19 miles per hour. He said that he's run up to 22 miles per hour. Now that's probably in his prime a couple years ago or whatnot. And so, but if you watch that play over again, it's not like he maxes out on that play. But one other thing I just want to bring up to you guys because we were talking about the other day. I think up to this point, it's the most memorable play the Cowboys have had this season. I think you can argue the Micah Parsons return touchdown. There's maybe some other. Is there a bigger play when you think of this Cowboy season than that T.Y. Hilton catch? Not just because of 62 yards, air yards, and it's his first catch and all that, but middle of the fourth quarter, the Eagles, they needed that, 3rd and 30.
You're down 7.
Okay.
Right.
At that point.
It's because of who was against, the stakes.
Right.
I mean, seriously. And another play that's getting overlooked, the sack on first down.
The setup for that was wild.
If the center don't get on the ball, the game's over.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're down. You get 2 sacks back-to-back plays. We're thinking the game's over anyway.
Yeah.
3rd and 30. There's no play for 3rd and 30.
Right.
To make that play, that catch, it lead to a touchdown. You tie the game and go on to win. That's the biggest play turning point that we've had this season.
Yeah.
Other plays, but given the circumstance, the environment, the time, everything that it meant.
Maybe the Micah chase down against Detroit.
But it's Detroit.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm
Detroit.
just thinking of like some of the more seminal moments that we kind of.
And there are a lot of Micahs. It's Micah sack fumble against the Vikings to start the game. Micah recovering that fumble where Justin Fields jumps over him and doesn't touch him, and then he returns it back. There's a lot of Micah plays.
But they were leading all those games. This game they were trailing.
And the opponent. And the opponent.
True. Yeah.
The play that Tank Lawrence made. Was it Houston right there at the goal line?
Right.
Yeah.
I just feel like that was that whole series. He made a huge play. Yeah. Carlos Watkins made a huge, the whole defense.
It was a great play. It was a needed play. But again, they were not trailing that game.
Now, what I said yesterday is T.Y.'s catch was the most electrifying play they've had this year. Where
There's no question about that.
The way the whole crowd, it was. Wow.
Because everybody thought it was over. 30 and 30.
All right, let me ask you
I didn't think it was over.
Okay. Does it have the same effect if it's Michael Gallup, CD, Noah Brown, or does it add to it because it's a first catch of a guy that you just added who's a 4-time Pro Bowler, that you're hoping that you find somebody because the wide receiving core needs help. Because again, I think if that happens and they have Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CD Lamb like last year, I think it's still a big play, but I feel like that's a position that you want somebody to step up, and in that huge moment, he steps up.
And what you wanted him to do, hey, can you use your speed, get down here?
It's a straight go.
I think
Let's see
that's
what you
the cherry
got.
on top, but given that situation, given the time, the game, the mood of the situation, and whether you think they would have still won it or not, there was no confidence that defense was going to stop. That was before the 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter, okay?
Yeah.
There was no confidence. The Eagles had just driven down the field and scored after you had tied them at 37. And there was no confidence this defense could get another stop. At that point in the game.
I didn't feel that way.
How could you not feel that way?
Because I watched in Jacksonville.
But Jacksonville went down the field too.
But when they needed it in Jacksonville, they get the strip of Trevor Lawrence and they give him the ball back with a minute 30 to go.
Also,
and then in overtime.
That was supposed to be a big play.
Also, a key thing in this is that again going.
He's just being difficult. He's being.
Mike McCarthy said in Jacksonville he had no confidence in the defense.
John was talking.
He said that in
John
Jacksonville.
was talking. Be quiet.
But also going back to, there's no question Trevor Lawrence is a much better quarterback than Gardner Minshew, and then the fact of what we just talked about earlier. No Lane Johnson. That stuff factors in. On that drive, it's going to be a lot tougher for them to come down and go that distance because of it's Gardner Minshew and Lane Johnson. Also, one other thing about the T.Y. catch.
They got to the 15, 20 yard line.
Can he finish?
One of the other thing about the T.Y. catch that stood out to me, too, that I was thinking about the other day is he came up with the catch that Cedric Wilson didn't against the Niners.
Oh, boy.
Did it touch Cedric Wilson's hands?
No question it did.
Okay,
was it a difficult catch? No question. I didn't expect him to make it.
Well,
I didn't expect them to convert 3rd and 30
Well,
either.
yeah,
I'm just saying sometimes
a 4-time Pro Bowler. Cedric Wilson is
there you go.
Cedric Wilson.
I'm just saying.
It's funny that you bring that up because now I'm thinking about what if T.Y. Hilton's on the field against Jacksonville when you need to throw. Who do you start to throw the ball to? You throw it to Noah Brown in this situation.
I mean,
it was just nice. It was just nice to know we could be done with the Odell Beckham Jr. talk after that catch. And the game he had 2 impactful plays. Like, okay, we have to worry about Odell Beckham Jr.
I think Odell has a factor in that too, though, because even with that game, if Odell was still saying that he wanted to play and do it, you're just not hearing much from Odell's side. I think that's where Jerry is like, I'm moving on. But I don't think Jerry ever wants to close that door completely, but he's forced to now because
he would have added Odell on top of T.Y.
on top of it. Yeah, you talk about cherry on top.
Yeah, he would have added Odell on top of T.Y. But no, I'm sorry, just given the situation, I think to me if that had been CD, because everybody would. People would have been crazy. It would have been a great moment. But certainly his first catch. But just given the situation, that's potentially could be the turning point, biggest play of the season.
The reason I brought up the CD thing is because we've watched CD all season long. We know he's having 1,200 yards. That speaks for itself. You don't see T.Y. Hilton play for 10 weeks. I don't care.
His first catch.
And he's 33 years old, okay? I don't care if it's a guy in his prime. I don't care if it's Brandon Cooks right after they traded for him. But to go out there and make that play in that moment where you're like, I don't really know what we're going to have here. I mean, there's just a lot to that.
And again, that's what we're talking about. You can't coach speed. You talk about the pass interference penalty he had on Slay. I mean, it's on Slay. I mean,
on a 4th down.
We've talked about how Mark, all these guys have trouble with Slay. The speed kills. Speed don't have trouble with Slay.
Who was preparing T.Y. Hilton when he wasn't working with the team?
That's the funny part about it. We're just talking and. T.I., the great thing about T.Y., and they've talked about it, how smart he is, but how in shape he is. We talked about this ramp up. These guys need to ramp up. And he's 33 years old. He hasn't played all season. You want to have him on a pitch count. But, Mike McCarthy said, the ramp up is over. This guy's ready to go. He's healthy, ready to go, in great shape. He said it doesn't take me much to get in shape. But
so he must be working with NFL quarterbacks, right?
Who's been throwing passes to you?
His dad.
His dad.
Uncle Rico dad like Uncle Rico.
But tell us that. It's his dad. It's funny because they were like, how old is your dad? Oh, he's up there. He's 61. I'm like, that ain't old, man. Stop that.
You felt
It's your age.
You felt the way?
57. But I'm just saying, 60.
Right
when
there,
you get
you guys are in high school together.
It ain't that old. It ain't that old.
Freshman, senior.
I can still sling it.
60 yards, get him ready for that.
I mean, the practice field out there, you got.
Listen, I'm just saying, but his dad was. He just, I went and told Tad Prescott. I told David Moore. I said, y'all never guess what T.Y. just said. He said, his dad's up there. He's 61. Tad and David Moore. He's up there. And the funny thing about it, it's all about perspective because. Theoretically, he's old for NFL. He's an old receiver.
Imagine that being old at 33.
I know. That's just how it's all about perspectives and point of views. But he's old as a receiver.
So T.Y. with the opportunity to go to Tennessee and keep going. So I look for him to get some more plays out there. Let's take our second break. What do we expect Tennessee to do, and how do the Cowboys counter it as they get ready to face them Thursday night, 3 games in 12 days? We'll do it next with Jon Machota, Kevin Gray, Clarence Hill. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com radio.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
This week! Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Little Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, you league. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is. It's a non-fungible token.
Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
When you build, you start with the foundation. And home ownership is a foundation of a stable future. The Bank of America Community Home Ownership Commitment has helped over 34,000 people lay the groundwork so far, with up to $10,000 towards your down payment or 3% of the purchase price, whichever is less. The satisfaction of owning your own place can become a reality. Visit bankofamerica.com/homeowner to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. Equal Housing Lender. Credit and collateral is subject to approval. Restrictions apply. This is not a commitment to lend.
Back to Media Mash.
Media Mash right here on a Tuesday. Short week. Cowboys play Thursday in Nashville, Tennessee. Our insiders all on their phone gathering information for us. Clarence Hill, Fort Worth Star Telegram, Kevin Gray, 105.3 The Fan, and Jon Machota, The Athletic. I'm Newy Scruggs. All right, guys. How do they handle this game? It looks like Tennessee's not going to play anybody. Derrick Henry's nursing, not exactly what Tennessee called it on the injury report there.
I think it was a calf.
I was going to say something with a leg, but Tennessee's everything rides on next week's game against Jacksonville. So they've got nothing to play for this week and may treat it such as a preseason game. So how do the Cowboys go about this?
It's a hip, and he was limited today. Sorry, go.
Okay, limited today.
Hip connected to the back.
Hey now.
Kevin, how do you handle this? How do you handle this if you're the Cowboys?
It's funny, you mentioned it because I was thinking about this yesterday. If you're the Cowboys, you should be able to handle this thing in 3 quarters. I should not have to see Dak, Zeke, CD. You should be able to handle this in 3 quarters and get a comfortable lead, play like you normally want to play, continue to build your rhythm, and then
this ain't no NBA game, man.
I mean, that's the point here, though. I mean, you're playing it, but it sounds like Tennessee is going to be playing a bunch of guys that don't necessarily, normally play. So handle your business in your first 3 quarters and have guys be able to sit. Like, you should be able to be comfortably up going into the 4th quarter and where guys can be able to rest.
Said that against Houston.
Yeah, this is a big Malik. I want to see what they're going to do against Malik Willis.
But Houston played their actual starters. I don't think Tennessee's really going to do much of that.
So they'll play Malik Willis, their young quarterback. He's never completed more than 14 passes in a game. He's
never passed more than 99 yards in a game.
Yeah.
And that was last week.
He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass. He's got 3 interceptions. He's started 3 games. And, I mean, he's a runner, but even then, he's not running for – he had 8 carries for 40 yards.
He's not Jalen Hurts.
In one game. He had 7 carries for 43 yards and a touchdown last week. So there is a little bit of that. I could see some similarities to what Houston did to try and, keep the Cowboys off balance, but I just ultimately don't see how they're going to have enough to win that game.
Yeah, they got a good run defense. Their pass defense is ranked 31st in the league. So let that cook.
Okay.
I wonder from Tennessee, do they play Josh Dobbs a little bit on Thursday as well as they get ready to take on Jacksonville? We saw Houston with the 2 quarterback thing, what they did. Does Josh Dobbs maybe get a little action on Thursday?
Yeah, but the difference with those 2 quarterbacks with Houston was there were 2 different style quarterbacks.
Yeah.
These are not 2 different style quarterbacks.
I mean, Dobbs can throw the ball a little bit better than
but
Willis.
He's a runner too, though.
Yeah,
they're just Willis is their future. They're not going.
Yeah.
They don't. That's a whole different deal. But I mean, the Cowboys. Is you talk to the players today and you say, what are the Cowboys going to do? They're going to worry about the Cowboys. Okay, the Cowboys got business they need to take care of. The Titans are taking care of their business, which is week 18. The Cowboys need to take care of their business, which they need to win and start rooting for the Saints on Sunday. But any hopes they have of division title starts with them winning against the Titans. So their primary focus is to win the game. And let the chips fall where they may.
You play to win the game.
But you have to win.
And I also think it would benefit them to win this game regardless of who the Titans are playing because of the fact of, let's just be honest, this team's going to be playing road playoff games.
Yeah.
On the road. The road has not been kind to them this year. What are they, 500 on the road? They're 8-1 at home. I mean, I know that they're going to be playing teams better than the Titans in the playoffs, but you need to win on the road.
Just stay away from overtime road games. You'll be all right.
Well, you say that, to avoid that. But in one game, they're up by 17 with 3 minutes to go in the third. Another game, they're up by 14 in the 4th quarter. I mean, that's kind of where you'd want to be. So
we're gonna
had them right where you wanted them.
These games are going to pay dividends for us later. They're going to pay dividends. We're going to reach back in our memory bank later on in the playoffs and and hopefully not lose like we did before.
It's funny because that Packers game, you keep looking at the schedule. That's to me, that's the game that's still haunting them.
Yeah,
the Packers game
for sure.
We're gonna use this. We're gonna use everything. Use all your experiences.
Because imagine you win that
Different
Packers
outcome,
game. You win that Packers game where you are right now.
Yeah.
You know.
All I need to hear from McCarthy as he goes into the Al Pacino, the inches we need are all around.
Yeah.
You look over here, you'll see a guy that'll go that inch.
But you can buy into that if they actually win in the postseason. But if they don't, we'll be bringing this stuff back up.
Listen, as of right now, especially after what happened last week, and then you got the injuries to Jalen Hurts, the failure in Jacksonville is a colossal blunder.
And Green Bay.
Right.
But Green Bay's fine. That's done. Okay?
Right, but you're making.
right now,
I'm just saying.
Jacksonville was right there.
I know this
and
man.
And then Jalen Hurts gets hurt. You got a chance.
You're talking about the timing of it all.
Yeah, the timing of it.
I know this man.
If you beat Jacksonville, you're one game back right now.
I know this man, and I know his reporting style. If they are in the divisional round or wherever, at San Francisco, wherever it's at, and they win in overtime, his story will have something about how they lost in overtime in this game, but they learned from it.
Well,
yes, it will.
I mean, but that's a natural progression. But obviously, if they don't, you can naturally connect those dots. But if they don't win, we're gonna say they can't get it done.
They didn't learn from their mistakes.
They can't get it done. But again, no, seriously, the Jacksonville loss is looming. I mean, you can say what you want about Green Bay. That was a month ago. Right now, in the Jacksonville loss, what you had a chance to do, I mean, we're talking about home field advantage throughout the playoffs, not just talking about division title. Because if the Eagles lose out, Vikings most likely going to be home field advantage. So that's really off the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're talking about home field advantage throughout the playoffs, you know, maybe some more games in the sun, you know, with the sunlight, with no curtains and stuff like that.
But if Philadelphia wins those last two games, does it really matter if they won the Jacksonville game or not? Because you weren't going to have home field. You were still going to be the
if Philadelphia
5
wins,
seed.
but one point is, you would have been one game back, and really it's more realistic that with Jalen Hurts out, the Eagles could lose one of these next two games.
They could.
If not both of them, especially with Lane Johnson.
I'm looking at like a 7-8 point spread on this game on Sunday.
I understand that.
I don't know about that one. And then
all you want is a chance. The Giants game, listen.
I'm listening.
The Giants are, playoff bound.
They still got stuff to play for themselves, yeah.
I'll be up 6.5. The Eagles are favored by 6.5 over the Saints. I'll be surprised if they lose these two games. I think they win out.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Then you rest against Washington.
Yeah.
And get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, it's funny you keep bringing up, the Green Bay loss that was a month ago. What we were just talking about earlier. The Packers are in position to possibly make the playoffs. You beat the Packers, maybe you don't have a chance to see them in the playoffs. Like, it all kind of goes cyclical in this way.
But okay, my thing is this. You can say what you will about the Packers game. The Packers won that game.
They did. Jacksonville took it from you?
No. The Cowboys blew the Jacksonville game.
Could you not say the same against Green Bay?
No, because in the second half, it wasn't like it was a turnover. Okay? Dak had a turnover in the first half. Then he let you 3 straight scores. You had a double-digit lead. Green Bay made plays. Aaron Rodgers played great. They didn't get the quarterback. They made plays. Jacksonville, you have a fourth quarter lead. It was the turnover in overtime. You're driving for the game-winning field goal. You catch the ball right here. You're 15 yards away from field goal range.
And the inability.
That was a blown game more so than Jacksonville.
And the ability to close them out when you get the ball back after turnover, a minute 36 seconds.
Yeah, you had the chance to do it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, and the three of us were in the locker room against Green Bay, we kept hearing about, we'll learn from this. We'll be better for our mistakes. And here you are in Jacksonville doing it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
That part of it was very surprising.
That game is much bigger than Green Bay.
Very surprising. The Green Bay thing, okay, it happened, but you didn't learn. You found yourself in the same thing. But to me, and John and I were standing on the sidelines, you see the turnover happen. We're looking, because we're on the Jacksonville sideline. You just look over there. Jacksonville's defeated. We lost. Fans are there, like, here, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We come close, so we can't close the show. And then you have a 27-second drive by the Cowboys, and they go down the field, go down, kick the field goal, take it to overtime, and then the defense stops Jacksonville in overtime. You got the ball, time to go win, and next thing you know, Machota and I are watching homeboy run down the field, and then John got the phone out, got video ready, already. Like paparazzi guy. He's already ready to go.
It was something. They were popping fireworks. They had a fireworks show after the game. Freaking Super Bowl.
When I got back to my hotel, it led all their news coverage at night.
I bet it did.
News coverage.
My hotel was terrible.
I'd say the two things that I'll go back
Full
to.
Cowboy fan. It was full Cowboy. Folks, what hotel allows you to bring your boombox into the lobby?
Hold up. You were staying at a hotel in Jacksonville full of Cowboys fans? Clarence and I stayed at the hotel that was the team hotel for the Jaguars, and it was basically the Jacksonville Jaguars and then all Cowboys fans.
Cowboy fans took over. It was a big Cowboy fan roundup.
There was when I left in the morning to go to the stadium, there was no Jags fans standing out there with their pennant, like just waiting to see Trevor Lawrence off. There was nobody. It was all Cowboys fans. Yeah. The one thing I was going to say about those two games, though, that will stand out to me, those two losses, is before those games, you had nothing from Zay Jones. Before those games, you had nothing from Christian Watson. And then all of a sudden, they just had these monster games that you're just kind of like,
Christian Watson's been balling ever since, though.
Ever since.
He's been balling.
Ever since. But before that, it's not a small sample. So they didn't play him in week 3.
They got a rookie receiver that can play.
I'm just saying there was things in those games where it made you start thinking, like, maybe the secondary, because that's the thing I keep coming back to, and I'm interested to hear your guys' take on this. One sack in the last 3 games. So, okay, they're getting the ball out quick in that. Okay, so you're neutralizing the pass rush. Shouldn't other parts of the defense be stepping up, taking advantage of that situation? Don't you want the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands quickly?
You talk about Jacksonville.
No double moves if you get the ball out quickly.
Talk about Jacksonville. Talk about Green Bay. You also talk about Kelvin Joseph and his inability to do his job.
He wasn't on the field on Saturday.
And they replaced him Saturday, and look,
I thought Nation Wright was pretty good, actually.
It was solid. But, like I said,
Philadelphia's got some good receivers, man.
Yeah.
They got pretty good receivers. Philadelphia.
And so does Jacksonville. But let's be honest. I mean, Jacksonville didn't have no trash out there. But, and again, I hear what you're saying, but.
You're not concerned about the secondary?
I'm concerned, but I do like Bland
and the run game,
and I do Bland because I always tell people.
You keeping him on the outside?
Get your licks too, okay? You're gonna get some licks, okay? You're gonna get some licks at defensive back. You're gonna get some licks. Get your licks too. Get your lick back. Deron Bland gets his lick back. Okay, he got 5 picks as a rookie.
Yeah,
he's not far off the league leading interceptions. Get your lick back. He gets his lick back.
We got that.
We got corners.
Shirts made.
No, seriously. Before Diggs showed, I've been covering.
He's got a shirt. It's already made.
I've been covering this team a long time. Before Diggs showed up, they never got their lick back. You talk about Byron Jones. They never took the ball away.
Right.
Awuzie, Scandrick, my boy, they could not catch.
Yeah.
They never got their lick back. Now you got guys getting their lick back.
Text Scandrick.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get your lick back. I need somebody that's going to make some plays, too.
You keeping him on the outside for the rest of the season?
He's definitely my outside corner next season.
Clarence said you never.
Yeah. You
live text play-by-play.
You say that, but
Get your lick back.
There's a lot that has to unfold in the next few months. I mean, I think they're going to make a significant play for some type of a corner, whether it be early in the draft or something. I don't think they're just.
Bland is outside corner.
See,
He's playing real slot. Bland is outside corner. They got too many other.
You got to go D-line.
They got too many other positions to fill.
Got to go D-line, man.
And you can get you a slot. And if Jordan Lewis is coming back to play the slot, Bland is outside corner.
Okay, so and now you don't need any depth. You're going to be all three are going to be healthy all season.
Got Joseph.
Your D line is you got to address your D line.
You got Anthony Brown is a free agent and he's hurt.
That's true.
And he won't
it
be
doesn't
back.
have to be their first round pick. I'm just saying, if they spend a second round pick on a corner, you're going to expect that player to play.
They need a defensive tackle.
On defense,
they need a linebacker.
Year 3 of Boss Man Fat. Who knows?
They might need a receiver.
Look, Tom Landry. I was talking about year 3. Parcells talking about year 3.
Need a receiver.
I thought it was year 2.
No, year 3. They're like year 3. Got to show something.
They might be drafting a running back.
Whole lot there.
You don't need to be taking running backs in the first or second round.
I mean, you sure number 20 gonna be back next year?
Yes.
Yeah,
he'll get
franchised.
They're gonna franchise.
Yeah, franchise.
They don't need to be.
Jerry loves him. And if Jerry loves you, you're not going anywhere.
Right. No, I'm telling you, D-line. Got to fix it.
Well, he loved Randy Gregory, too. Hey, how's Randy Gregory doing? How's he doing?
He was doing exactly what I thought he was doing.
It's funny.
Exactly what I thought he was doing.
He did not want the suspension clause in his contract. Guess what?
He's suspended.
Of course he is.
No, I was one of those. When I went up to Denver, I told my guys in Denver, when they had me on, I was like, you're going to regret this. I said, he won't get to year 3. Oh, we got Randy. I was like, No. So you guys were mad about it. I said, no, there were certain people in Dallas-Fort Worth mad about it, but not me. They made Randy Gregory out to be Randy White. I'm like, he's always got issues, whether he's hurt.
But they were still ready to give him $70 million. This team was still ready to give him $70 million.
And they were ready to pay Dalton Schultz.
They were ready to give it to him. You're right. And there's no question they wanted to keep him.
Yeah.
Okay, but Randy got in his own way. You know, as Bill Parcells said, if it's always you, if it's always someone, it's always you.
Randy Gregory's a guy that when I heard that he always, they re-signed him for $70 million, I was like, oh, really? He's not worth it. He's not worth it. And the other story of it was, and it came from a lot of people at your station, they were rooting for Randy Gregory for all of his off-the-field stuff. And to me, the off-the-field stuff had nothing to do on the field. On the football field, yeah, he had some talent, but the talent didn't outweigh the fact that he missed so many games and there was always other stuff going on. Mm-hmm. And in Denver, they don't care about his story in Denver. They don't care about. That's the same thing with Josh Hamilton left the Rangers and went out there to the Angels. Dudes didn't care about your story. You got $125 million. They want production. These people are looking at $70 million from Randy Gregory. They're not seeing the production. So you got Russ letting everybody down. Then you got Randy Gregory letting everybody down. And you know what? The punch on the field. Don't tell me that didn't factor into Hackett getting let go too. They're just like, man, what are we doing?
Second though behind.
Yeah, the whole Rippin thing. Yeah.
I mean, the whole
51 points.
Right.
And that's from Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, 51 points to a 4-win football team.
You let Baker piece.
I want to ask you a
51,
question because I was saying this after the game, and I don't know what Baker Mayfield's final stats were. Dak Prescott NFC Player of the Week, Offensive Player of the Week, or is it Baker Mayfield?
It should be Dak Prescott.
I would think so. I thought that he should have been a favorite in the clubhouse.
It's the Broncos, dude. It's the Broncos.
It should be. But people have a love affair with the Baker, story. And
is that your Texas bias?
Yeah,
it's not my Texas bias. I'm just trying to tell you. Just like 2 weeks ago, everybody was talking about we're comparing the comebacks, and everybody was giving Baker credit for coming back against was it the Raiders they beat? What they come back against?
Yeah,
he had one drive the whole game. But
I mean, it was kind of wild that he got off the bus like 30 seconds before that, and then not to say that the two are compared, but it was just
it was the Colts. I guess to beat the Colts. It was the Colts. It was like the Colts who lost to that was Raiders. The Raiders lost to Jeff Saturday after 3 days, and
that's right. The Raiders,
Dak's game's more impressive. Baker was 24 of 28 for 230 with 2 touchdowns. I mean, obviously, a really good game.
The Rams' defense was really good that game. It had a pick six and everything. So I would, if you're basing it between those two,
it's Dak.
It should be. Yeah.
I mean, that pick six early. I mean, that's a big play. That's a big play. But if you take that out, I mean,
he was damn near perfect.
Yeah, that was an outstanding game.
That was over with.
That was curious.
Yeah, and I think more.
That was just Josh Sweat, floor state guy, just making big plays. That's just what they do. Sorry, go on.
He was long.
He couldn't help himself.
He was waiting.
Dude
didn't have to jump. He just reached his arms up. He didn't really jump.
Make a play.
If that ball is 2 inches higher, Dalton Schultz is still running, man. Still running right now.
Stop it. He's not running to the end zone. Stop.
He's running a little further than what he got.
Okay, but he's not still running.
Just saying. Still running.
Why are you hiding?
I know what.
Speaking of,
he got wind speed. Okay?
What do we got going on over here with his candy canes and peppermint bark?
He got wind speed.
I mean, hey,
he got snacks.
This is a great time to end the show. So thank you, Jon Machota, Kevin Gray, Clarence Hill. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Media Mash. We'll talk to you next week because travel day tomorrow, game on Thursday. So Tuesday, Media Mash right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!